it's Chi-Town, it's Bears on the flight. Let me go tune in to KIEQ on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the likes.
Things just got interesting for the Chicago Bears. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of KIEQ on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Bears fans, make sure you also do me a huge favor by also hitting the like button on today's episode of KIEQ on the Mic. So, Bears fans, we have another hypothetical video. I'm pretty sure you guys have all heard the news about New York Jets edge rusher Hassan Reddick officially requesting a trade from the New York Jets. So now the question is, should the Chicago Bears be interested in a guy like Hassan Reddick? I know that we have talked many times on the podcast that the Bears are basically keeping their options open. And I know that Ryan Poles is always constantly working on trying to make this football team better. I know there's been a lot of rumors saying that he may be interested in adding to the edge rusher position on this Chicago Bears roster. But we've also had conversations about maybe the emergence of Austin Booker really being a surprise for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears. And basically they no longer need to address the edge rusher position. But then the other side of the things are saying that it's probably too much to ask for a 5th round rookie in Austin Booker to take on that heavy workload across from Montez Sweat. And maybe they should look to go get more of that veteran leadership and an impact player in a guy like Hassan Reddick. Obviously, as we know, the New York Jets, once again, traded for a guy like Hassan Reddick from the Philadelphia Eagles. And the crazy thing is that everyone that was interested in Hassan Reddick knew that he wanted a new deal. The Jets traded for him still, and now he is in a holdout. The Jets have made it clear that they have no intentions in trading a guy like Hassan Reddick. They said, hey, he's here to stay. We will try to work something out. But it seems that talks between the Jets and Hassan Reddick have gone nowhere and has led to Hassan Reddick's holdout. And now he has requested a trade from the team. If that weren't enough, we all know also that Jeremy Fowler has also mentioned that a guy like Matthew Judon could also be available for trade as well. So once again, if Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears really wanted to add to the edge rusher position and enhance the defensive line here in Chicago, they definitely have some options. I think for the most part, when you're talking about both of these guys, it's really about what would it cost? First and foremost, when you look at a guy like Hassan Reddick, I definitely think he will be a little bit more expensive compared to a guy like Matthew Judon. Reddick is still 29 years old. He had 11 sacks last season, and every team that he has played on, he has been an impact player. Hassan Reddick is a very good pass rusher. I think the combination between him and Montez Sweat would definitely make this Bears defensive line better. I know a lot of you guys are going to say in the comment section of today's video saying, well, KIEQ, we need to focus on the offensive line. And I definitely agree with that. I think offensive line is definitely more of a need for this football team. But I think it would be nice to also add an impact player like Hassan Reddick, unless you guys are totally okay with the guy like Austin Booker, especially since he is a rookie. But once again, when you're looking at Reddick, he's still 29 years old. Right now, he's making $14.5 million. He is trying to get a jump in his pay salary. I know when you look at his market value currently, it's looking like he'll get around $26 million a year, which I think that would put him right around Montez Sweat. And I think that would make him the 5th highest paid pass rusher annually. So I am not sure if Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears want to have two massive contracts in terms of the edge rushers on their roster. I do know the fact that when they extended DJ Moore to his contract extension, it gave them some financial flexibility to possibly make a big move as soon as this year. So maybe Ryan Poles has something up his sleeve. Maybe they do go out and get a guy like Matthew Judon or Hassan Reddick to really come help enhance this Bears defensive line. But when you look at a guy like Hassan Reddick, it will come with a price. It will definitely cost more in terms of draft capital as well. I think it would probably cost either a 2nd or 3rd round pick compared to if you went out and got a guy like Matthew Judon, it'd probably only cost you a 4th or 5th round pick. So I don't know what Ryan Poles should do, honestly. I think, once again, the emergence of a guy like Austin Booker will definitely be a surprise. Let's see if he can continue to develop the right way. Maybe he ends up being a solid starter, even as a rookie, across from Montez Sweat. But I think we just have to let the process play out. I know the Jets are very stuck on saying, hey, we are not going to trade a guy like Hassan Reddick. But Bears fans, my personal opinion is if the price is right, maybe it's not that much in terms of draft capital. Of course, he wants a big contract. So, of course, if you trade for a guy like Hassan Reddick, you're going to have to pay him a pretty hefty amount. I think that amount will be around $26 million per year. But Hassan Reddick is a very good player. He's an impact player. He has been good everywhere that he has been. I think that would be the same here in Chicago. Adding a guy like Hassan Reddick would make Montez Sweat better. It would make guys like Javon Dexter, Andrew Billings, and even guys like Austin Booker as well. I think Austin Booker has a bright future. I think I would be okay if Ryan Poles decided to just leave how the defensive line is and just trust a guy like Austin Booker and DeMarcus Walker and Javon Dexter in the middle of that defensive line. But at the same time, I also wouldn't be mad if he went out and made a move to go get a guy like Matthew Judon or Hassan Reddick as well. I think if I had to guess, if Ryan Poles was going to make a move in terms of trading for a guy to bring on to this defensive line, it would probably be for Matthew Judon because he would be cheaper. I know he's 31, about to turn 32 years old. He's coming off a season-ending injury. So the draft capital would be less, and I think the total payout for Matthew Judon would also be less compared to a guy like Hassan Reddick. Of course, I think Hassan Reddick would be the better player because of his age, but I just think the price would be too steep for the Chicago Bears. But really, at the end of the day, it's up to Ryan Poles. I trust his judgments and opinions and the moves that he makes for the Chicago Bears roster. I do think he's going to let this process play out in terms of just letting guys like Austin Booker develop. I think he really trusts his coaches to put our players in the best situations to succeed. So I think even though Ryan Poles is open to the idea of continuously adding to the Chicago Bears roster, I think he is going to be patient and not force his hand, because once again, I think he is really excited about a guy like Austin Booker, DeMarcus Walker, and guys like Javon Dexter on this defensive line. I think he feels like those guys can get it done as well. So overall, Bears fans, this is going to be a situation that we can closely monitor. Once again, Hassan Reddick did request a trade. Not sure if the Chicago Bears are interested. I'm not even sure if the Jets are actually going to trade a guy like Reddick, but I did want to come on here really quick and just give my quick opinion on everything going on with Hassan Reddick and the New York Jets. But overall, before I let you guys go, let me ask you guys this. If Hassan Reddick is available and the New York Jets decide to actually trade him, do you think the Chicago Bears should swing for the fences and bring Hassan Reddick to Chicago? Let me know down below in the comment section. But as always, make sure you continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of KIEQ on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, be back for all new Bears podcast right here on KIEQ on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't KIEQ on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't KIEQ on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't KIEQ on the mic.